right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. I'm your host, Pete, with my co-host, Nick, and our first masterclass here of 2025. So excited to kick this thing off and get rolling. A little Ask Us Anything today, Nick. So we get, hopefully we'll get some good stuff going in the chat here, and you guys can let us know anything that you have questions about, and hopefully we can point you in the right direction here and answer some of those today. I know we got a lot of new users coming onto the platform pretty much every day. So,
Yeah.
hopefully we can, we can jump in here and answer some questions. I did a podcast earlier today, and he said he gets most of his good information from our master classes
Nice.
about what's going on with the product and how to use some of the new stuff. So that was cool. But yeah, let's just maybe a little recap to start with. I've got a couple things to go over here, and then we'll kind of recap 2024 and all the stuff that we had go on, and then move into our questions here. So,
yeah, it's exciting time, man. Like the last year was a whirlwind. So many things came out,
crazy.
so many big updates. Pete still hasn't stopped crying because of the calendar.
Calendar tears of joy. Yeah.
So he's been so happy for now. So that came out in September. So good 4 months.
My legacy in the roofing industry. The calendar, I would have never expected.
I know. So we got a lot of cool things. I'm really excited for even just Q1, the stuff that's coming out. So
absolutely,
everyone, just make sure you put your questions in there. We do have some that came in before, so we have those as well. But hit us up with anything that you have. But like Pete said, we do have some housekeeping to take care of. That's the one I was looking for. So I'll let us go from there. So Pete, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you guys have been to any of these before, Nick and I, we've been doing these now for, Nick, how long?
3 years.
I was gonna say, is this our third year doing this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pretty crazy. Yeah. So it's almost 3 years of doing, these master classes together. And, there's our email addresses. I think that's a good thing to write down if you guys have a shot to do that now, or screenshot it, because, Nick and I are always available if you guys ever run into questions or need some help with the product. Be sure to hit us up, and you can always get in touch with one of us, and we can at least point you in the right direction or put you in touch with the right person. So, just let us know.
Of course. All righty. We got the Roofr updates here, Pete.
Yes. Yeah. So the big one right now, obviously, is our supplier catalog getting a little bit of a revamp here, because we are bringing in our first integration, and that is with ABC Supply, right?
That's right. What's really exciting is that it's not just like the catalog that's being integrated in there, but it's the ordering too. So lining in everything, getting those options up, it's super exciting stuff. So you'll see some big news coming out about that very shortly. The catalog integration is going super well. People are loving it, keeping their prices up to date and everything there as well. But the material, I think, is actually dropped this week for a couple closed beta users. They're working out some bugs, and we'll be having some more coming out for you guys this way. So that's super exciting to get that ABC thing off the ground as well.
Yeah, I was talking to a user earlier today. We did a podcast together, and he was saying that, this has really helped. He's on the beta, I guess. And he said this has been huge for his business, and just how easily he can transition from writing a proposal to, to pushing out a material order, and now not even having to find the email address and email the material order. Like he said, he's like, I have a great rep, but there's been times where my rep has potentially missed my email, and therefore, we've had to scramble for materials. And now, the integration is going to allow you to just push that straight through into the My ABC system. So you don't have to worry about, an email getting missed or not getting delivered or something like that, and potentially having an issue with a material delivery. So yeah, really excited about the integration with the supplier and getting that rolling. I think it's going to be a huge asset for anyone using the product, and hopefully you guys leverage it, because it's definitely a good one for sure.
And never have out of price quotes anymore. Like that's a huge bonus. One thing that's super unique about our integration with ABC is when you're sending out a proposal, if the pricing has changed, it's going to let you know before you send it out. So making sure that you have up-to-date pricing, you're never losing out on the money. And that's going to keep you profitable. That's a big thing I think that we're going to be focusing on this year with some of the updates, keeping profitable.
Yeah. And the other thing here is our affiliate program. Now, this question has come up a couple of times. I actually had a contractor reach out to me just a couple of weeks ago asking about it. It's a new program for us, right? And if you guys have someone that you think would be a great fit for Roofr, maybe it's a friend or even a competitor maybe in your market that you think could benefit from using us. I know a lot of you guys collaborate with some of your fellow roofers around you. So, maybe spread the word a little bit. And we have an affiliate program now that will allow you to benefit a bit from that. So be sure to take advantage of that. Check it out, roofr.com/partners, and join the affiliate program there.
One of the cool things about the affiliate program, so you could also, like, if you want to jump past the partner part, roofr.com/affiliate is another way to get into it as well. But one of the cool things is that a lot of our users, like, that we demo on a day-to-day basis, are coming from you guys, which is awesome. Love you guys sharing the news or posting about it. But if people always like, oh, do you get a couple free reports or something like that? It's like, better yet, why don't you get up to $350 for every referral that you send? So you can post that if you're a partner, if you're a user, if you're a friend, if whatever the case is, drop that link wherever you can, get paid for it. And you just got, the first step to do is get to get approved on the affiliate program. So roofr.com/affiliate, and you're up and running there as well.
Yeah. So just a quick housekeeping item here. The recordings of all of these masterclasses, as well as some of our other stuff like our podcasts and some help articles and all that kind of those things. I think Roofr Academy now even has a link from there. So if you go to roofr.com, in our resources section, you'll find all that stuff. And of course, our YouTube channel is also a great resource there. And if you have any questions about any of that stuff, hit up Jennifer at roofr.com. Jen's always in the background here helping us out with the masterclass. She's our ultimate planner / coordinator of all things masterclass, podcast, all of that stuff. So, if you have any questions about any of it, feel free to reach out to her. She's the mastermind behind our Roofr of the Month. So that's a great, feature that we have going on with the podcast, showcasing a lot of our roofers that use our product and showcasing their businesses. So we've had some really great conversations on there. Did another one today that's going to be fantastic, and got another one tomorrow. So make sure you guys jump on those and check those out. And then go ahead.
I got a really nice message from one of our previous roofers of the month, John Tucker. He was wearing this Roofr of the Month jacket and everything. It was cool. He was like saying how, like, this is one of like the few awards that you can get that doesn't have like, you do not pay to play kind of deal. Like, it was just on merit alone. And he's like so proud to have that, so proud to be recognized for it. And so he wears it out all the time. He said his only problem is he's afraid of getting the jacket dirty. So
I like it.
As a roofer, it's going to get dirty. So
yeah, it's going to get dirty. And the last bit of, of information here, we do have a survey at the end of our masterclass. If you guys could take a second to fill that out at the end, it's super helpful for us. It helps guide, future topics. It helps guide just, feedback on, what we do here on the masterclass and how we do it, and make sure that Nick's closet is closed behind him, things like that.
Don't wear any hats.
Don't wear any hats.
Kind of things.
Yeah, those type of things. So, some quick items, but let's just do a real quick recap. 2024, obviously, Nick, so many things came out, right? What would you say was probably your favorite thing that came through the pipeline in 2024?
It's too prod, right? Like, for me, like, calendar is a no-brainer, but the calendar is nothing without the automations. And like, I see all these comments about like, hey, I need automations. I need to automate this, automate that. And I feel like it's just from us, not a lot of people know about it, and how powerful our automations are, how to kind of make sure that you're following up with your customers so you don't have to follow up with them. Have your CRM sell for you. The CRM automatically send out. Do you notice I'm not saying words properly today? Like, 4 now have not come out of my mouth the right way.
You've been away too long.
Could be a stroke. Who knows? If I drop, just call me.
Then we know what happened.
You have my wife's number. Just call her.
There you
go. But without the integrations, you could have your review. There it is again. Now it's in my head. Review generation automatically by moving stages. You could have communications with the customer so they're never left untouched. So a new lead comes in the middle of the night because of the instant estimator. You can make sure that in a couple hours it's reached out to again, tying that with text and stuff. But then when you tie it with the calendar, you can do things for moving stages automatically, so you never have to move it. The CRM hygiene is up top notch. You could get reminders for upcoming meetings. You can set delays. You could have all that there. If you really want to get crazy with it, you can set sequences almost by creating multiple steps and creating the times that they're sending out for each stage as well. Super powerful. Super, super powerful. I saw John Tucker, one of the previous Roofers of the Month there. You guys are killing us with questions. I'm so pumped for all these. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. But John Tucker actually has like a stage automation for invoice reminders. There's like the day it gets sent out, the next day, day 5, day 7, and stuff. So they automatically come out for each of those customers. He goes, I've never had to remind a customer for a payment. They just pay. And using Roofr payments, it works in. So I say for me, it's 2 things: the calendar mixed with automations. Those are my 2 favorite things that we got.
Yeah, I talked to a contractor today, and he was saying that they're working really heavily on their automations with email right now because they're really relying heavy on their. They're doing a lot of work in Florida, and because of all of the insurance work that's there, they're relying heavy on referrals from their past customers. And so, actually have someone in the office right now that's building out a bunch of automated emails going out as far as 6 months, just reaching to past customers and saying like, hey, it's been 6 months since we've been there, just checking in on you, and could you possibly drop us a referral? And so just some really cool uses of the system. It's always great to hear how contractors are leveraging the features inside of Roofr and what they're doing with them, and how effectively they're working for them. So I would have to say that probably my number one thing is from 2024 is probably the evolution of the proposals, right?
Yeah.
Discounts, upgrades, all of these things that have evolved in that tool itself. It's kind of like at the heart of the CRM, right?
It's the guts of the system, I call it.
It really is. It's like what everything else kind of spurs off of is getting that deal. And to go back to the podcast that I did today again, he said that his favorite part of Roofr is the proposal tool, because he said he's a small organization, and he often gets mistaken for a much, much larger organization because of how professional his proposal looks coming out of Roofr. So he said, he constantly has people say, oh, I would have thought you were a much bigger company based on how clean and professional that proposal looked. So he said definitely giving him a leg up in his, in his area, using that proposal tool and all the tools that it has in it. He mentioned leveraging, the upgrade section and things like that. So, if you guys are not using that tool to its full capabilities, definitely check it out, or get with your customer success person to kind of learn what else you can do with that, because that tool has become just so powerful in comparison to what it was when it first came out. And, it's great to see it.
One of the cool things, I'm just pulling it up right now, is our implementation. We always talk about it and brag about how good our implementation is. Number 1, it's free. Number 2, we built everything for you. But one of the things that we just released actually this week, and this is for ongoing ones. So anybody in the chat needs additional help with implementation. I saw a comment about us section. I saw comments about building out different things. Just go to roofr.com/implementation. You'll see here. Number 1, we have weekly live education sessions. So like this, but one person, and we just kind of go through a product. On Mondays, we'll be going through CRMs. On Tuesdays, we'll be going through proposals. On Wednesdays, we'll be going through invoice payments and material ordering. And that will be week over week. And we have live questions, live content, all that stuff there. We'll be doing an in-depth thing. So if you like learning in a group session like this, going back and forth, just register for those live sessions. And then also with the implementation, that never stops. Like we said, you can have an implementation if you've been here for 4 years and you're already fully implemented, but you want to add some stuff in. All you do is on that same page, just a little bit further down, fill out your information. We're going to email you out a form. You update the things that you want to update, and our team's going to get right with you and start building that stuff out. So really, really cool things there with that aspect of it. Obviously, we do have the Roofr Academy, our help articles, case studies, these masterclasses on demand and everything else. But this is a huge thing that's going to make your life a lot easier. So highly recommend jumping in with our implementation team here and joining one of those sessions. I did one yesterday, by the way, Pete, and it was without you. And it's like the first time I've done it. I'm not saying like I missed you or anything, but I was dying. It was an hour straight of talking and no interaction. I was like, park.
Yeah.
I was out of breath. So
Very different when you're flying solo, right?
I didn't know how fast I was going. I feel like I
Yeah.
was talking a mile a minute, but I didn't know. Got a lot of
Uh,
information packed into an hour, though. That's for
there
sure.
you go. Yeah, those are very cool. It's a great idea and a great option there to to really dial in on something. If you have a specific question about a specific feature, taking advantage of that is huge. And those guys are fantastic. That whole implementation team is a fantastic team, and they do some incredible stuff. So, and they know the product like
Inside and out.
unbelievably. Yeah, like
Well,
they
what's
are.
cool too is like their backgrounds. They're all over the place. They've all like helped out with different things, but like some of the people on that team as well. Like you'll see Tala here in this picture. Tala worked for one of the North America's biggest roofing companies, being an estimator. He knows probably more about roofing than I do. Like especially when it comes like to commercial industries and stuff. So like the people you have there don't only know the product inside out, but they know the industry like the back of their hand as well. So if you have ideas or suggestions, Pete, you've called them roofer advisors in the past,
Yeah.
use them, get that
Yeah.
information. So they're going to be great for you.
Yeah, they're an unlimited wealth of knowledge, so definitely take advantage of them. So let's jump in. Let's start jumping into some of these questions, Nick. We got a, like you said, chat's been lighting up, so let's take advantage of that and get to some of this stuff. QuickBooks integration. Let's start there.
Ooh.
QuickBooks integration is, I believe, beta is starting end of the month.
Yeah, so we have so we mentioned things that we're excited for. Q1 is insane for the amount of stuff that's coming out. And like
It is.
not just like little stuff. There's some cool quality of life updates that are going to make your life so much easier that are coming out. But big things like our QuickBooks integration. I know a lot of people wanted it, but right now it is in like mini closed beta with I think about 5 users getting like the first test to it, getting out the bugs and everything else. And then by end of month, early next month, so early February, we'll be opening it to a larger closed beta. So you'll be seeing that by the end of the Q1, barring any unforeseen bugs that we're cleaning up and stuff like that, it should be out in wide release. So super exciting stuff there, Daniel. I know I'm freaking out about it because that's like the missing piece in my mind that we have, because 90% of people use QuickBooks there. So really excited for it.
Yeah, always everyone's asking about QuickBooks. So excited to have that one in the product. And I know that team is going to do a killer job with it. So excited to see that one. Jeff's got a question here about how do we get colors into a proposal? I
have a
just saw
question
this
on that
in the
question.
Roofr Unlocked, right? A Roofr
Yeah,
Unlocked.
exactly.
So if
So
you
there's a
guys
bunch
haven't
of
joined that, right? That's a free plug, I think, right? Like we have a Facebook page called Roofr Unlocked. If you guys are not members of that, was I believe started by some of our users, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
still run by them. We're just kind of admins in the background. We kind of just make sure that the people joining are members of Roofr. And so we just we do our due diligence for the group and just do the background stuff. Before we get to the answer here, did you talk, just side conversation, everyone close your ears. Pete, did you talk to Lane? Are we able to show the secret stuff?
He said that they're in the works, so probably around March that stuff will be due, but we could probably show
Because
some
I have a
sneak
suggestion on there
peeks.
too with this color selection. So
Okay.
color selection stuff is being worked on. We're going to have it out later on this year. We'll be able to actually select from the proposal, and it will map to other things like material orders and stuff as we go along. But in the meantime, there's a couple ways that I know that people are using it now. So for example, if you're going through here, the easy thing to say is when they're signing that product there, just make sure that they put it in the customer notes. You could have it there. One of my email templates in big bold letters actually says, hey, make sure you put the color in there. So for example, if I were to send this guy out, of course I picked one with no customer, Tom Brady. There we go. If I were to email this one out, you'll see one of my templates actually has big bold letters saying make sure you put the color below. So you can add that in there. So that's one way. The other way is kind of building it in there and creating like some backups as well. So you can have it built into your terms and conditions and have initials beside certain things to make sure that they can pick the colors that they want. But one of the cool things that is coming out in the meantime is our signatures product. And I know there's some questions later on about building stuff into like a contract form and stuff. That's what signatures is, and that's coming out later on this year, as this winter, probably around February, early March. late February, early March. But one of the cool parts about it is we can do check boxes. So hold on, figure out how to pull this over. I think I have to shrink this first. Oh,
I saw it for a second there.
yeah, it was a sneak peek.
Yeah, it flashed on. That's all you get.
There's a tease. Everybody close your eyes. So we'll be able to create contracts. Now, this won't be integrated in the proposals yet. This is, again, a future thing. But because we have like dynamic fields to drag and drop into contracts, we'll also be able to kind of add in things like this. So someone might be able to go in, click on the option that they want, sign it with the typing into it. Yeah. Sorry, guys. This is a prototype, so I'm not really great with it yet. So, and then they could add the date, add that in, and then they could hit complete. Could be a separate document in there. This is a future thing, but I think the best case for now is making sure you put it in your terms and conditions as well as around here to add the colors.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind too is now that we're integrating with the supplier like ABC, you'll have the ability to bring over colors, here shortly as part of that too in the catalog. So that will help to be able to pick and choose colors on a proposal, and may facilitate that process a little bit as well.
Yeah, super powerful stuff that we'll be able to have in there to kind of open things up. One other thing I'll just bring over here. This little guy is really tricky to get.
Yeah, you got to hit it like just right up there.
All right. Well, there's the thing. I was going to show the ABC thing, but if this guy doesn't let me do it, I can't do it. On to the next.
Yeah. So Maurice asked about creating the About Us page. So I think Nick kind of touched on that. The best way to do that, Maurice, is to just reach out to our implementation team. Those guys, that's their specialty, and they can help you get that set up and probably help build it for you, even if they get the right information. And so take advantage of that. What was that again, Nick? Roofr.com/implementation, right? So Go ahead and check that out, Maurice, and see what we can do to get you set up on that. Nick's got a question. Are we going to go with any other suppliers? Great question, Nick. Yes, the answer is yes. So the plan for this year is to not only do the ABC integration, but eventually have integrations with others as well. Beacon, SRS, those type of guys. So all your big name players will probably be integrated here shortly. ABC, obviously the first one, helping us work out the kinks. So get that all set up, and then you'll see more here in the future. So yeah, just stay tuned for that one.
Stay tuned on the time too. So wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Be close to your computer. But this is what the ABC one does look like right now. Is you could actually sync your prices in there. It will show who it's supplied, the supplier is, by having the links in there. Like Pete and I were saying, letting you know in your proposals if things are off. So if you're about to send something off and there's a new pricing update, it will let you know with the updated pricing. And then with the material ordering, be able to select the colors and everything from there as well. So this stuff is coming out as we speak. Some of it is already out. So reach out to your implementation specialist for this if you're an ABC user. If you are Beacon and SRS, like I said, stay tuned. It'll be very soon.
Ron's got a question here, Nick. Is there any way for us to earn credits towards measurements?
Great question. No, but you can earn money with the Roofr.com affiliate, and then you can use that money to buy credits, which works out. If you're looking for like roof measurements, like Roofr reports, can't buy those, but you can use the money to kind of pull in there. So if you're referring somebody, you can get up to, like we said, $350 for that at Roofr.com/affiliate. Super easy to sign up, Ron. So just go through there. And then if you're looking for credits, when it comes down to like actual measurements, the good news is like if you're on one of the plans, those are discounted as well. So our DIY reports are going to be, let me just pull up some options here, anywhere from $0 to $3.50. If you're on a plan, anything like satellite uploads, a drone and blueprints and stuff are going to be $0. And then you can break it down from the amount more that you buy rather, is the more of a discount you're going to get. So anywhere from $2 to $3.50, as you can see here. So those are the DIY tool options there.
Jeff's got a quick question about change orders and the ability to do a change order in the product. So I know this is something that's come up a lot recently. as we are adding work orders and adding material ordering and all this stuff is, when can I do a change order? How can I do a change order? I know that our signatures that you showed and document builder that are coming out later this year are going to be a good solution for that. But I think you probably already have a solution, right, Nick, that you
I
guys
have
currently do?
workarounds. Like when you're talking about building out a CRM, we keep on adding features. We're listening to you guys, as you can see here, and then our suggestion channel that we talk about all the time just continuously feeds the product team like Pete, just so that they can kind of understand, interview these our customers, and get to know a little bit more. So we're always adding things, but the tool is so robust already that there's always kind of a way to figure out a workaround. And this came up in Roofr Unlocked recently as well, that Facebook forum that we were talking about earlier. And how do people do change orders? Now, there's 3 ways of doing it. The easiest way, and we can definitely help you out with this change order, go to roofr.com/implementation, ask them about it, and we can help out. But the change order here is a basic, easy thing to build out. So you can have the change order items already built in there. I would recommend upgrades. I always do, because it's nice to have. If you're changing plywood, why not do the attic venting as well? So like the baffles and stuff. And then a quick change order notes where you could add them things and signatures. And basically, so let's say hypothetically, you're in a job, you got a 1 job, you've sold this job, and you get up there and you've included 2 sheets of plywood for everything, but you haven't included like the 6 others that you just found. So while you're in the job, you already have a 1 proposal. You can create a secondary proposal here, and I can quickly just click on change order on it. And now we have something built in here where I could send this out to the client, whether I'm in front of them with my iPad, I could turn it around or anything, but I can go in here and say, okay, for an extra layer, there was, it was mapped across here. So I have $1,200 for the extra layer. And for the plywood, I have 5 extra pieces there. For the baffle vents there, I'm going to say that if they want to do it, just to see, I got 25 baffle vents we got to add in here. We got my margin built in, and I'm ready to send this off. It's going to be a cover that you're really not going to have to change. It's just going to say change order. I got a breakdown of what it is with the notes in it and everything here. Customer can select one or both of these and go on with it and mark it off, and then they have to sign and date it. That's a super easy way of building this out. And when you send this off to the customer, easy peasy, or you can turn it around and sign it and get it done there.
Okay. I'm going to jump to the next question here while Nick figures out his audio. Can you guys hear me okay, hopefully? The next question here from Brett, are you guys building a scheduler in the CRM to make it easy to integrate customers to appointments? The answer is yes. The team has talked about that. The biggest question, I think, is just figuring out the best way to handle it. And so the team is currently exploring the best way to have that scheduler built in. But yes, the plan is later this year to add a scheduler or scheduling capabilities so that you guys can do that. The Instant Estimator does have the ability right now to connect a Calendly link, or a calendar link. So if you are want to connect a link to another calendar so that someone who's on the Instant Estimator could schedule an appointment with you, you can do that from there. So, but hopefully later this year, we'll have the ability to just attach it to our own calendar potentially right in Roofr. So Chandler, yes. Beacon, definitely on the way. Jacqueline, same thing. Beacon is coming. Let's see. We have a good question here. Yeah, we still can't hear you, Nick. I'm not exactly sure. We lost you. We could see you. We can't hear you. Hold on, let me jump up here. So John's got a question about the Instant Estimator. John, I'm not sure, how much exposure you've had to the Instant Estimator, but yes, a lot of evolution going on in the Instant Estimator as well. So you do have the ability now to change the questions in there, to update the questions, take questions out, pick which questions you want in there. I believe that they are adding the ability to create custom questions as well coming up here shortly. So you will be able to modify that stuff, to kind of customize it to fit the way you want to do it. So if there's questions in there that you feel like don't apply, you can take them out. You can currently do that. And then, like I said, it sounds like I can hear you now, Nick.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Huzzah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good old reboot that
Yeah.
always
Yeah. That
fixes
always does it. Yeah.
everything.
Kill it. Turn it back on. We were just talking about the instant estimator. Some questions here from John about customization, taking questions
Mhm.
out, adding questions in, and then potentially customizing questions. A great question here from him. He says, "What did your company learn in 2024 that made you better in 2025?"
Oh my gosh. It's a bunch of things there. I learned number one, never to trust your tech on your computer while you're doing a masterclass. No kidding. But my Wi-Fi is being fun today because it's
Yeah.
minus 274 degrees outside right now. But
Similar here.
a big thing that I learned is kind of set good guidelines for when feature releases are coming out and stuff, because people really kind of take that to heart and it makes a big difference for them. So want to be as accurate as possible with the information that we're sharing so that we're able to break that down and give them what they need there. You want to make sure that you're never kind of leading people astray, and even give a buffer on the buffer just to make sure, because it's better to under promise and over deliver kind of deal.
Yeah, I think one thing to note, and it's a great, a testament to the rest of our team behind Nick and I, is that our team is always learning, right? Our team does a very, very good job of taking a lot of time to interview customers and talk to customers and filter through suggestions that come in. We've mentioned it before, but we have a suggestions channel, and we were just actually had a conversation about it earlier today of how to better even manage that to get feedback back to people in regards to their suggestions. So, just know that internally we are always learning, a better way to do it, a better way to, make the product even more lean and cleaner and more effective for you guys. So, I think that that's the biggest takeaway, is that the team just does an incredible job of continuously learning from you guys and the suggestions that you make. So,
And the speed to which they take those suggestions to heart and put it into action. Like, you've worked at another tech tool in the past, and the way how fast we get things out and get things out that are good and functional as well is
yes.
impressive. Like, we've talked to our friends that are on other competing tools and say that it's hard to keep up with you guys because of how fast it is, and that's a great testament to our product team and our engineers and everything else. So it's pretty exciting there. So
Yeah, the team does a
yeah.
very good job. Yeah, they manage all the expectations very well, and they're very good about prioritizing and really kicking stuff out pretty quickly. And the thing that I love about it is when they do kick this stuff out, it's very well thought out, and it's done very well. So we don't have to go back to the drawing board very often. A lot of testing goes into it and a lot of customer research. So when the products do finally come out, they are, they are solid products, and, they don't really need a lot of tweaking. So, so it's a big part of it. So, he also asked, what's some new features that we can expect to see at IRE? It's a great question.
Yeah, we will be able to show ABC, that sync. May or may not be able to show some other supplier integrations, or at least the starting of it. We'll have job costing that will be able to be shown throughout that, because that will be coming out in our open beta right before then as well. Hopefully, we'll be able to show some of that signatures product, which is our document builder, building out contracts and stuff as well. And then there's some other stuff like insurance field and stuff like that that may or may not be ready for it. But some big drops. Oh yeah, and also parts of QuickBooks as well, because obviously we need a QuickBooks account. We don't have one for me personally, so we'll have to show it through like a module. But we'll be able to show you kind of how that works and how the integration would make your team better as well.
Yeah, Brent asked a question about making Lowe's a supplier.
Oh, yo, Brent, what's going on? Great question. On the radar. So that's all we can kind of say. Love Lowe's, they're great. If we're getting out SRS, who is owned by Home Depot, why not Lowe's?
Why not Lowe's?
It takes some time though, Brent. Things will be coming through as we go along, but we'll be able to hopefully give you some information this year about that. Obviously, you can imagine big companies take big times take a long
slow.
time to make big things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that helps out as well. Did you hit the question on the Roof Quote Pro?
Yes, that's the one we were talking about. Instant Estimator. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Great product, great tool, bunch of differences between it. But really, one of the big things I will say is, as much as I love that company and those people there, they're really awesome. And I would consider them friends of ours. Kind of strange to think of competitors as being friends, but pretty much are. The biggest difference is what you got tied with the Roofr. You got a lot tied with it, but also they have a true instant quote, which is like 2 questions and go. Whereas we have the ability to price condition, price qualify. And what you'll see from that is you may or may not get, you will, I'm just trying to be nice to the competition as well. You will get very, very high qualified leads from us because you'll be able to see what they're interested in, what they're not in. And like Pete said, you can kind of customize those questions.
Yeah, we got a good question here from Nick about taking deposits. And I think Matt Radford just posted a video about this, didn't he?
Yeah. So when you're sending out your invoices, you can collect that 30% down. You just click on a button and say how much you want, 30%, 10%, whatever, and send that out and take that portion of the payment, and then send the payments for the rest if you have different payment structures. That being said, though, in the future this year, I can't remember exactly what quarter it is, but we will have some payment scheduling options in Roofr payments as well to kind of set you guys up for success. So being able to apply to the full job. So even now, though, Nick, if you do accept that payment, it will show how much has been paid and how much is owing in your invoices. So set some time with your implementation team, because they'll show you how easy it is to do that and how much of a difference it works for the customer and ultimately you making sure that you're getting paid.
Yeah, now that kind of rolls into the next question here by Jesse, who says, who can run me through the potential of Roofr? He feels like he's only using it at surface level. Either an implementation person or, everybody has an account manager, customer success manager that works with them that, is responsible for their account. If you don't know who that person is, you can always reach out to Nick and I. We can point you in the right direction and get you hooked up with that person, and they can run you through and help you, get trained up and see what the potential is there for you guys to use the product.
Yeah, that roofr.com/implementation. Jesse, that's if you are on a paid plan. If you're on Pro, Premium, or Elite, that will help you out. If not, just go into your Roofr profile. There's a little chat button at the bottom right-hand side. Click on it and say, who's my account manager? If you don't have one assigned to you, we will get someone, and we'll be able to help you out and get you through a demo, show you what's available.
Yeah, let's talk about Alex's question. This is great because I think it's kind of showcasing all of the departments we have here at Roofr and how they can effectively help you, right? So Alex's question is, what happens if you order a report and it comes back that we potentially measured the wrong house? I mean, it has happened. It does happen, for a number of reasons. And what can we do, Nick, if that happens, if we have an issue with a report of any kind?
Yeah, that's what's so good about our support team. We call them the happiness heroes. It's literally in their signature. So right away, just send a message to us in the chat. Some really cool stats about how quickly and how important we take support. First reply on our chat is under 2 minutes. First reply on emails is under 8 minutes. And first reply on phone calls is usually around 20 seconds. If we don't answer it, we call back within an hour. So call us up, chat with us, whatever you need, and we'll take a look at that. If the house is, just always make sure you're pinning the right house, because Google is right 99.9% of the time, but it could be down the street. So just do the due diligence there. That being said, if you do, we will credit you and get that ordered and expedited very quickly for you as well. So we will credit you for that report and get everything up and running and back to you very, very quickly.
Yeah, our support team is fantastic. So they can definitely help you out with that kind of stuff. And like Nick said, very quickly, they're very timely there. Mm-hmm. Jesse said, will the integration with suppliers include their catalog? Yes, Jesse, that's, one of the big things with that whole supplier integration is that we're going to be able to bring your specific catalog and your specific pricing in. So you'll have your line items that you normally order. You'll have your specific pricing attached to those line items. And like Nick said, the integration will allow you to have live pricing. So the pricing will update and you will not have to worry about price changes and things like that. moving forward, because you'll have all of that built right into the catalog there. So stay tuned for all of that stuff.
Jacqueline asked a question on the roofer measurement is incorrect if that's the case.
Yeah.
This is a big thing for me. My dad, I've talked about him a lot in these. My dad's been roofing for 30 years in business now. This is his 31st year. And he's old school. He uses our measurements though and everything. And I tell him, I'm like, double check everything, because ultimately you have to understand whether it's us, whether it's one of the competition that does measurements, we're doing them from aerial views. So when you're looking straight down on a roof, you might be missing a skirt. You could be missing a bay window. 9.86% of the time, to give the exact accuracy of our reports on the last quarter, it's going to be perfectly fine and bang on. But you do want to make sure, ultimately, it's your money at the end of the day. That job is your profitability. So always double check the stuff. Always do a quick look on everything. I know that sometimes it's like, it's kind of annoying. I have to check. But if I'm putting my money down on a job, I want to make sure that it's right. So if you think that it's an 8, you can always edit our reports. If you want to add or take away that shed in the back, you can edit our reports as well. We give you the freedom and the flexibility of it. And you could also reach out to that support team. So we're always here to help out with any of that information. But just always whether you're using us or the competition, make sure you're checking your reports.
Question about how much extra does it cost for the supplier integration?
Boom, zero.
Zero. Yep. So supplier integration is going to be something that's just part of our subscription, and you'll be able to just take advantage of that here as soon as it goes live. So like we said, I think we got some beta users just cleaning it up for us now, and then that'll be out for everybody to take advantage of. Any recommendations for increasing sales using Roofr?
Oh, Jesus, it's a great question. It really comes down, if you want, chat with your account manager on this too, because they're going to have some ideas and stuff. It comes down to maybe your location, what you're offering, and kind of, are you retail, are you insurance, residential or commercial? But I really like to do things about around referrals. And Pete, you said this in the past, that your lowest cost per acquisition is a referral customer. So you're able to really kind of open that up and dial it in. So when you're going out to a house and you're quoting it and say you got the job, then what you can do is, we call it a 6-pack. You're not canvassing, you're scouting. So you're going to go knock on the 2 houses, neighbors, and 3 across the street, and say, hey, I'm doing the roof across the street. If you do see any bags flowing around or any dirt or any noise, please give me a call. Here's my information. By the way, I see there's some damage on your roof as well. Looking a little bit tired. If you do want to quote, let me know. Really kind of provide that education, that transparency, Pete, and really open that up there and start helping out from a small area. And like Pete says, become your neighborhood roofer. Join the commerce, join the community, all that stuff there. Be that person who's out there helping. And that's going to help you transition into good reviews, good sales, and kind of bolster that. And last but not least, don't waste your time. Be speed to lead obsessed there, making sure that it's going forward. So getting those quotes out quickly to the customer, making sure those quotes are concise, beautiful, well presented, follow up with them, be good with communications, all things our CRM can help out with, by the way, and make sure that you're on top of that stuff. People feed off of good communication, and I guarantee you 9 out of 10 of your competition does not do that. So take advantage of that and separate yourself.
Yeah, the contractor I talked to earlier today said that he came to RoofCon and talked to us at RoofCon, and we introduced him to the instant estimator, and that the instant estimator has been a game changer for him. He said they simply just put their QR code on some business cards, started handing it out, and that it changed the game for them. And one of the things is, and like I told him, is you can be super creative with that instant estimator QR code. There's just so many thing that you can do with it. We've seen people put it everywhere, right, Nick? Grocery store receipts. I think I saw a guy with it on the side of his boat once. I mean, it goes, they put it everywhere, and it's just such a valuable tool. And it really just starts, it's that top of that funnel, right? So it's a great way to start feeding some extra leads into the system. And, like you can leverage it everywhere, on your side of your trucks, on your yard signs, all over. And, it works great for cards. Yeah, business cards, and it works great, especially like Nick was saying for the referrals. Like if you have the ability to send that link over and say, hey, just if you have a referral, send them over to my instant estimator, right? And so it's a great way to get them in the funnel there. So
another one that's super underrated that has a negative connotation with it just because of traditionally, if you didn't have an instant estimator type tool, it was kind of a time suck, is partnering with every single realtor and property manager in your neighborhood, in your city. They always need quotes. They might not always need formal quotes, but they'll need formal quotes at one point. So if you provide them with a postcard, a business card that they keep in with a QR code that they can scan and get quotes instantly around the clock, and you just tell them right when it's formal in the final box. If it's not, then I won't bug you. They're going to tell all your friends, all their friends, all their family, all their colleagues, and you're going to be getting a ton of leads that you can, disqualify a bunch of them, but they're going to start trusting you on the big ones. So it's a really easy way, low risk. Just go there to one of their offices, bring a box of donuts and your card, and just be like, hey guys, this is me. I'm Jesus. I'm here to help out with any of these situations that you might have. By the way, this thing here is going to get you quotes within 30 seconds or less. So anytime it's formal, just write formal. Everything else, just I won't bug you.
Smart. Brent's got a question here. Is there a spot to put our badges for certifications, i.e. Master Elite, etc., on our proposals? My suggestion would probably be the About Us page, right, Nick?
I was just going to say that. Yeah, About Us page or any kind of PDFs. If you watch a previous masterclass we did with Corey Combs, he has that built into some of his PDF pages as they go along with the COI and everything else in there. So you can put that directly on there. That About Us section that we present, my dad has his certifications on there as well, and those badges, so they can show off. So you sell it on you before you sell on the product. So sell your company before you sell the product and add that at the top of your proposals. It's a really nice touch, and it's always a topic of conversation.
Yeah, we had a couple questions come in via the form prior. So one of them was, is there a way to automatically turn your instant estimator into a quote if you're fine with the price? This guy does, this person specifically does roof rejuvenation. So their pricing is pretty spot on coming right off the instant estimator, and they're wondering if they could just roll that right into a full blown quote. So what do you think?
Not yet, but that's a really good option. Really good suggestion. We actually shared it with the team before this as well. That's a cool option there. What I would suggest is number one, you got my email at the top of it, nick@roofr.com, nic@roofr.com. Send me a line, and I can tell you my parents do rejuvenation as well. I could tell you how they do it quickly and accurately, and be able to shoot that out and give you some examples. My suggestion is through the DIY, taking that measurement, drawing a box, slapping a pitch, you're going to get a very similar measurement, and then it will convert directly into a proposal right off the bat there. So also you'll be charged either $0 or $2 for the measurement instead of 12. So good option there for you.
Jesus has a great question here. Lots of guys starting to use emails and texting through the product. He says, how can I see the emails that I send through Roofr? Sometimes I like to check and see what I sent to the customer. So he's looking, I guess, for historic emails on a job, maybe that it was even a past job.
Yeah, in the side section there of it, if my computer did not hate me with my Wi-Fi, I would share my screen right now. But if you're in your job card on your right-hand side, you'll be able to see all your communication. Now, that's only outbound right now. What you're probably going to want is an inbound, outbound kind of flow, like our text does. Our text will show reply and sending. And what we'll be able to do very soon with the integration with Gmail is show you exactly that. That's coming around Q2. But in the meantime, being able to see what you sent out will show directly on that right-hand side underneath the system updates and everything there. So every email you send is directly through there.
Yeah, it's a great way to kind of keep track of, especially if you have multiple people in the organization potentially communicating with a customer. You can kind of keep track of everything that's been sent that customer's direction, whether it be email, text, or even some internal notes about it. So keep an eye on that. Quick question here, Nick. Someone wants to know, who's the better golfer?
Who wrote that?
I don't know.
Just show up between me and you, or me and Richie?
Yeah, it says, who's the better golfer, Nick or Pete?
Oh, it's not. I'm like famously a horrible golfer. I
I am
wouldn't
as
say
well.
horrible, but like I'm like right around the 100. I have a hook that could knock Mike Tyson out. Like it
Yes.
just every time I shoot, it goes right. So
Yeah,
we'll see. I don't
I have
know.
a slice that looks like my ball's a magnet for the trees. So
Yeah.
if I my
Next time I
the,
come down to Kentucky, we're gonna just go
yes,
and film it and just put it online.
the extent of my golfing consists of our top golf events when we go to IRE and RoofCon and those type of things. So outside of that, I don't
Yeah,
do much
for sure.
golfing. I'm horribly bad at it. So Bill asked if we could elaborate a little bit on the Gmail integration. We'll be able to send emails from within Roofr. Yes, you can currently send emails from within Roofr, Bill. The goal with the Gmail integration is to help, bring those two together so that you're not having to manage two inboxes, having some visibility of both, and having the ability to link those together so that it's a little bit easier to, keep track of the emails. I know we did a similar situation at my past CRM where we had an internal email system, and we often got complaints about. Now I have, my company email, my info at is in my Gmail, and so I have to monitor that separate of my CRM's email, and it's confusing and cumbersome. So we're gonna, use that integration to streamline that process a bit for you.
Oh my God, it's working. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So here's the job card, Bill. You can click on this here on the email, and you send it like a from scratch one or use one of the templates. So those two options are available for you right now. This is all the sending out emails, so I can see all of them as we go along. But if once we have the Gmail integration, you'll see the replies as well.
Yeah, question from Andrew: is it only going to be Gmail? Initially, yes. I would assume that will then warrant some other potential email services, but to start with, it'll be just a Gmail integration. Yes.
Just like the calendar, it's going to start out with Gmail and GCal. Those are the most popular ones, so we're going to knock those out, and then probably look into like Outlook secondly and stuff.
Yeah, Diego asked a question here about the capabilities to communicate with your production crew. So I think that's a good parlay into work orders coming out.
Yeah, so we have work orders in open beta right now, which is really cool. So now for once, you can actually start creating crews in Roofr and having those in there. So when you're going through the process and you're sending out everything from the job card, the next step could be sending out that work order. That work order is really simple. With one click, you can create a work order. So we'll map all the things that were selected by the customer in the one proposal or from a material order. And you can send that out and attach photos to that work order directly to your crew that you select in there as well. Any instructions, the amounts and stuff. Now, we will have more advanced sub-crew conversations and communication going on in the future, but this is the first step towards it, where you can match that work order, send it out to the team, and they don't have access to your CRM. So they don't need to have a user or anything else, but it will go out to them very similar to our proposal as a live document where they could download, view again, and everything else in there as well.
Yeah, lots of great stuff coming out as we wrap up here. I'm sure we could talk about stuff all day. Lots of questions. I think one thing that Nick showed, definitely take advantage of the fact that we're doing those weekly meetings with the implementation team now. There'll be another opportunity, to ask some questions if you guys have specific questions about specific features. So take advantage of that. But lots of good stuff today. We really appreciate everybody that joined us and was able to drop some stuff in the chat there. So lots of great questions about some of the upcoming features and, just some of the stuff we have going on. And like Nick said, if you ever have questions about any of this stuff or just not sure what the right person to talk to is, you can always hit up Nick and I. We're probably the easiest email addresses to remember in the entire company. Nick NIC at Roofr, and I'm Pete, Pete at Roofr. So super simple to remember. And get in touch with us, and then we can always, either answer any questions or point you in the right direction of who you need to talk to. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. And, great job, Nick. Good recovery there on the technical issues.
Sometimes you just got to shut stuff down and restart it up. Like as soon as it's started lagging, it shut off my mic, and I was like, I don't even know how that's a thing. So
Yeah.
I just closed out and reopened, and it worked.
Yeah. Well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for jumping on. And, we do these on a bi-weekly basis. So be sure to join us throughout the year on these master classes. They're a great way to learn different stuff. And also check out that help section on our website. Always the past master classes, the past podcasts, take advantage of all those things and jump on there and learn as much as you can about the program. And like I said, we're always available. So hit us up anytime. Thank you, guys. And hopefully we'll see everybody soon at IRE, right, Nick? That'll be the next big one.
Yeah. Super excited.
Nick and I will both be there. So you guys want to come by and say hi. Nick and I will both be at IRE this year. So come.
Pete and I are going to the Alamo.
There you go. Back to San Antonio. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah.